Since I'm about to begin soldering, I figured I might as well do a quick video and do a little more preaching for the day. Today I am working on making a switch, a standard adapted switch for a user, and he needed these small, this is a momentary button off of Amazon, comes with some leads, and then he got the plug already with some leads. So the whole idea is to put them together. Here's the preachy part. Let me show you how I do it. It's going to use a very old trick. But the first thing I do is I get some heat shrink tubing to determine to hold it together when it's done. And you got to put the heat shrink on before you actually do anything. So like this is going to be an overall cover. So I'm going to put, that's a bigger one, and then I'm going to slide that on. I think that's about a 4mm. And then I also want to put some on these actual things so I don't have to, these leads, so I don't have to do electrical tape, which I hate electrical tape. That's a personal bias of mine, I understand. I prefer heat shrink tubing. So what you do to prep it is get the heat shrink in place first. Otherwise you'll be like, oops, I can't get it over the connector. All right. Now, the important part, and this I don't think is taught enough in maker lands, is the way to connect these wires. These are going to potentially be load-bearing wires. So what do? You do a Western Union splice, otherwise known as a lineman splice. This was developed originally when they were putting in telegraphs, hence the Western Union. The whole point of this connection is that it can be load-bearing, which means it will take abuse, because we know plugs and things get abused all the time. So let me slide on, and I've separated these wires so that I could kind of get that heat shrink out of the way, because I am going to solder this also. But okay, those are all prepped. This is prepped, and it's really simple. It is a crossover. First you cut significantly more leads than you would normally do, and then you cross it over. And I know it's hard to see here, but I've wrapped one around one way, and I'm wrapping the other. You can check Wikipedia and it will show you how it's done. And that I didn't do a very good job because I'm doing this on video, but you get the idea. So it's still kind of a hassle here. Oh, get back here. So cross them over at about the midpoint. Start wrapping. Wrap one side then the other, and then you have a cat appear in your video, which is pretty typical for me. Oh, and the cat hits the camera too. Very nice. So here they have, I'm going to clean this up, but basically that is a Western Union splice. And the point of it is that the more you pull, the wires should actually grab each other versus letting loose. So what I'll do now is, and I don't have a soldering iron here, obviously, because of cats, but what I'll do is solder both of these so they have a nice, good solder connection between them. Then once they're soldered, I will slip this heat shrink, this inside heat shrink in place, and then use my hot gun to shrink it. And then once that is done, I will slide my larger piece of heat shrink into here and heat shrink it. So it will have the strength of the joint, the soldering, these heat shrinks, and this one. So hopefully it will, if this thing fails, it should either fail here or here, but hopefully not here.